You can just tell me once you are done.
Did you have to add spacing between the two of the names? That is the two of the columns.
These two,
Yes,
the
these
two
two.
blocks. Yeah, we can just give margin bottom. We have added margin bottom 40 pixel. You can give anything you want. So this one was the raw. Whole thing was raw, right? You can give it a margin bottom.
Okay, the
Yeah.
done, Didi.
Yeah, okay. Then for the animations and the JavaScript part, I like to hand over to Aditya.
Thank you, Nishi. Actually, the color of the icon is different because the link of the CDN was different. The icon link can't be handled by the CSS properties such as colors and backgrounds. It was different because the link was different. CDN link. Uh, I guess I will provide the link in the WhatsApp group later.
Okay.
Till now, this let this
Yeah.
remain blue.
Oh, yeah, yeah. It is black. Okay.
Okay. So let me present first. Is my screen visible?
Yes, Aditya, it is.
Okay. So I have the code here that Nishi coded. So let me open it in the browser first and show you. Open it right. Okay. So this is the code. Actually, I have added some animations here. This is the animation. Animations make website interactive and beautiful. So for animations, uh, many animations can be done without any JavaScript, just by CSS. But if we add animations via JavaScript, it is more responsive and and it is more robust, I would say. Um, so for adding uh, animations, you can see that when we hover our mouse cursor on the row, the row enlarges, the row scales up. So there is a CSS property of hover on. We can apply it on any of the sections, on any of the selector. So for that, let's see how to. Is my VS Code visible? Is my VS Code visible?
Yeah, yeah, Aditya, it's visible. Continue.
Yes, we are.
Okay, okay, okay. So uh, we will select the row class, uh, and for properties we can we can choose them via uh, by adding a colon and the name of the property. Here I am using the hover property. Uh, just click right hover, and after hover, what we have to do when we hover a mouse, we so here, see now, we have to transform the height and width of the row here. We have to enlarge the height and width. For that, there is a property named as transform. So when we write transform, there are multiple properties that we can choose from. See, there we can translate the row. Translation means we can move the row by a particular number of pixels. We can skew. Skew means uh, um, we can tilt the row. Scale means we can enlarge it. There are multiple properties. We can rotate it. There are multiple. So I will use scale property. What scale property does is it enlarges by the number of times we give inside the bracket. I will If we enlarge this by 2 times, then see what will happen. When I click on it, when I put my cursor on the row, it will enlarge by 2 times. So that's not we want. We want it to be enlarged by 1.1 times. See, if I put my cursor, it will enlarge by 1.1 times. 1.1 times means if the width is x pixels, then it will be x plus 0.x pixels. And if the height is y pixels, it will be y plus 0.y pixels. So there is another thing. The time of the animation is 0 seconds, but to make the animation visible, I have added a transition property in the row. So what transition property does is it adds some time. It is the time till which the animation will occur. So for that, we have to add it to the row class. We will write transition, and then the number of seconds we want the animation to work. We want it for 0.5 seconds. So I will write 0.5 seconds and then save and refresh. See, it is for 0.5 seconds. In 0.5 seconds, it enlarges from 1 to 1.1 times. If I remove this or comment this transition, then see the enlargement is in 0 seconds. We can't even see the animation is happening, but we can see that it has scaled. It does not look so good, so we will add some transition property and let the animation occur for 0.5 seconds. So that was the animation part. We can make animations very cool, like I can make it rotate. For that, let me write transform and then rotate by 360 pixels. By 360 degrees, very sorry, 360 degrees. When I hover on it, it rotates by 360 degrees. But that this is not looking so good in this case, but I am just showing you for that you can add and you can play with the animations. So that was all with the animations. Now we'll be moving ahead to the JavaScript part. Did everyone understand what is this animation part, or is it anyone
Bhaiya,
having doubt?
Bhaiya, what if we just want to put animation on one particular section of the row, like only the image or the text?
Okay. So if we want to, let's suppose we want to add animation to this blog image. So wait a second. We will select this blog image instead of the row. Like for suppose this, we will choose at the bottom dot blog image, and then we will write when we want to add animation. We want it when we hover on the image. So we write colon and then hover. And what we have to do after hovering. So we want to transform, and in this case, let me show you skew. We want to skew it by 10 degrees, let's suppose. So, wait a second. I don't remember the parameters that it takes, so I will show you by enlarging this, scaling this 2 times. Let's scale this 2 times. Wait a second. Okay, so I wrote the class name wrong. It is blog image, camel case. So see, if we enlarge it if we hover on image, then it enlarges to 2 times. We can also apply skew property. And skew property, I guess it takes degrees in parameters. See, it skews by 10 degrees. So this is how we can apply animation to a particular div. We just have to write the name of the selector, then hover. Hover is, I am taking example of hover because it is more commonly used. There are multiple properties when we can apply animations. Did you understand?
Yes, Bhaiya.
Okay. Now we will move on to JavaScript part. Anybody have any doubts?
No, Bhaiya.
Okay. So first of all, I would like to clear some basic misconceptions about JavaScript. First of all, JavaScript and Java are both two different languages.
There is something in the chat box. Have you cleared this? Is there any darken or shadow effect on hover, or and can we trigger animation on one object by hovering on some other object? If yes, how?
Yes, we can do that. We can do that using JavaScript. We can obviously do that. We can do that using JavaScript. And what is the question? Is there any darken shadow effect on hover? Yes, I guess that is there. Let me see. Okay, it is not there in the CSS part, but we can obviously do that by JavaScript. If time permits, I will show you how to do that. Hmm. So the first misconception about JavaScript is that JavaScript and Java are interrelated. It is not at all. JavaScript and Java are both two different languages. There is no relation between Java and JavaScript. Second, JavaScript.
You are not audible, Aditya. Hello. Is it just for me or is it audible?
We also can't listen, Bhaiya.
Yeah.
Hello, hello.
So basically, what? Yeah. No. Now you are audible,
Okay,
Aditya. Continue.
okay. Uh, so for JavaScript, you need a runtime environment, and you do not need any softwares uh, for running JavaScript code. Basically, there is a runtime environment called Node.js, but we will be not requiring it for the front end part. We will be requiring it for the backend part when we will be making servers from Node.js. So JavaScript is not compiled; it is interpreted. That does, what does that mean is the it is read line by line and then executed at the same time. For suppose the line number 1 is read, then it is implemented, then line number 2 is read, then it is executed, and so on. If the interpreter finds any errors in line number 3, then it throws the error on the spot. It does not execute the code after line number 3. There are ways so that we can execute the code after the line where the error is found, but that is beyond the scope of this workshop. For JavaScript, many of you might be having C programming in your first sem, or you might know how to program. There are variables, and there are variables in any programming language. So just wait a second. So there are variables and some basic terminologies that are used. So how do we declare variables? In JavaScript, they are in fact in any languages there are multiple data types such as integers. Let me write. They are integers, they are floats, they are characters, they are strings, arrays, and so on. They are double, they are different multiple data types. But uh, uh, in if you know, then in C we have to explicitly define every data type, and we can't store one data type into one. We can't store one data type into another variable of another data type. For suppose if we store uh, int in a float, then character in an integer variable, then this would uh, throw an error or might show some unexpected results. But in JavaScript, we can store any data types in any variables. Basically, we do not need any keyword for defining a variable. We just need var and then the name of the variable.
So what he's trying to say, let me explain you. So what he's trying to say, actually, when you talk about C, what happens actually when you define a variable with certain data type, like when you define it int, you cannot assign a character that value, right? If you define a variable like int a and a character b, then you cannot assign b is equals to a. Like you cannot do that like that in C++. But what happens in JavaScript actually when we talk about variables, it's just just a simply it's a name to a storage location. So basically, what a variable does is just define the storage location in JavaScript. So what you can do, you can just define a variable by using simple like variable. You can define using let, you can use const, you can use var. There are three different ways to define variables. Like this, all the three have some different meaning. Like when to use which one, you will get to know these things. But the point is that you can define a variable and you can assign the other data type. For example, the if you can you add one plus if one is an integer and one is a string, can you add those two terms in C++? But try doing that in JavaScript. What you will get like let me tell you, you will not get how it's coming. But if you add like one integer for example, let's consider the value of the integer is one and the value of the string is one, also one. So you will get 11 in JavaScript, right? Like might be unexpected for you, but you will get to know like what is the difference between the variables in when it comes to JavaScript and other programming languages. JavaScript is basically it's a scripting language. You are getting the points, you're getting the layers. Like first we start when you it comes to a web page, you start on the HTML, the upper let's consider CSS as the second layer, and we can consider JavaScript as third layer. So all the things fits up nicely. It's just all the JavaScript is written on the client side, it executes in the browser and acts accordingly. So basically it allows you to update your content dynamically. Like you can do dynamic things. What we were doing using HTML CSS were quite static, but using JavaScript you can create content dynamically, you can update content dynamically, you can control the multimedia, you can animate the things, almost everything that you can do with JavaScript, and almost everything with any other that you can with any other language you can do with JavaScript, right? So yeah, Aditya, you can continue. Yeah.
Okay, William. So you can understand JavaScript, the relationship between JavaScript, CSS, and HTML as consider HTML as the skeleton of your body, consider CSS as the skin, and JavaScript as the brain. So JavaScript is used to implement the logic behind the web pages, and it is used to make web pages more interactive. So let us resume, continue where we were. So there are we can declare variables in JavaScript using three keywords, that are var, let, and const. We have to write var and the name of the variable that we want to make. So there is nothing like integer, float, character, and string, different type of variables. We can store anything in a variable. So let's suppose if we want to run JavaScript, then we have to open the browser, right click on the browser and click on inspect. After clicking inspect, click on console. In the right hand side, you will see console. Here we can write JavaScript, and it is the runtime environment where we can write and execute our JavaScript code. So let me write var, and the name of the variable, let me take a is equals to, I want to store 9. See, it is showing undefined because we have not executed any, we have not printed anything here. If I type a here, then see, it will show 9 because the a variable now contains 9. If I declare another variable b and give it a value of 10, and if I print b, it is showing 10. I can add two variables by via plus sign. A plus b is equals to, oh, enter. Okay, so every JavaScript statement should end with a semicolon. Actually, this is
Actually,
not a
no,
compulsion.
actually, no. Actually, you don't need to
This is not a
finish it.
compulsion, but it is a good practice if we end a semi if we end a statement with a semicolon. But it is not a compulsion. It will not throw any errors or runtime errors while compiling while executing the code.
A plus B
So
works fine in JavaScript. No, you don't need to worry about that.
yes, okay. So for loops are same as in any other languages. We can write for loops. You guys know Introduction to C Programming. Have you studied that?
PHP. Yeah.
So in that, you might have studied for loops. Uh, if
Yes.
I if I write I is equals to 0, I less than 10, and I plus plus. If you want to go to next line in the console, hit shift plus enter. If we only hit enter, then the command will be executed. So for printing anything on the console, we type console.log. And if you want to type hello world, hello, hit enter. See, the hello is printed 10 times. The console will not show you it. The console will not show it 10 times, but it is written that it has been printed 10 times. So I can print the value of I. To copy a previous command, you can hit the up arrow. I. If I
But you
hit,
should add, yeah, int I equals to 0. No, you have just written I equals to 0, then also the command is run.
okay, so it is not a compulsion to declare a variable in JavaScript. It is very flexible. You can write var and I. It will also work fine. But if we do not write if we do not declare a variable, it will also work fine. There is no compulsion.
Yeah, it works fine actually. But let me tell you a case. I don't know why it happened, but I was trying to build something, and I just got a weird error. I just like I didn't use let or something. So the what happened when the loop was executed for multiple times. Obviously, let's assume the for loop was executing for multiple times. So like around 50 or 60 times. So what was happening, the data of one for loop was getting merged into the other for loop. I don't know why that happened. Like seriously, I tried to debug that for around 2 or 3 days. I got stuck from there. I thought that there's nothing to worry about this, and I got stuck it for like I around it took 1 or 2 days to figure out that just because of just not using that let, the data is getting merged. But it should not be like that. I don't know why that happened, but that happened. So just take care that you just mention a let or where there. It's better to write there. You might face the same issue that I faced once. So it's
Yes,
just
it is
better.
a
But if
good
you don't,
practice to declare variables. Okay. So I have executed a for loop for 10 times. It will execute it for 10 times, and I am printing the value of I in every iteration. So if I hit enter, see, uh, value of I is being printed from 0 to 9, as it was initialized from I is equals to 0, and the condition was I less than 10, and in every iteration, the value of I was increasing by 1. So this is how we write for loops. The while loop and the do while loop was syntax is also same in JavaScript as in the C, but I guess we do not use anything else than for loop. So I do not uh, understand the importance of do while loop and while loop. So the conditional statements like
It's useful actually. Adit, it's useful actually. It's just that it's just as actually in front end you don't need to use that. Yeah, that's
yes,
he was right. When you talk about front end, you don't need that much often, but you should know about it. Like you, when it comes to back end development or writing algorithms, you surely need it. But up to front end development, you don't need that much often. That thing. So yeah, for now you can just think, yeah, you will learn the syntax later. That's not a problem.
yes. The condition syntax for conditional statements are also same as in the C language. Uh, for let's suppose if we declare var, uh, it is giving me suggestions. I have declared variables. Var C is equals to 12, and if C is greater than 12, so let me if C is double equal to, okay, so there is for comparison in JavaScript we use triple equal to instead of double equal to. In other languages you will use double equal to, but in JavaScript we use triple equal to instead of double equal to.
So
See,
what's the difference between double equals to and triple equals to actually? So what I was trying, the initial thing that he told you that double equals to about the variables. So for example, C is a variable of type string that contains some string. A is why it is C. Okay, let it be C. C is a variable of type integer. So then triple equals to what it does, it checks the type of the two variables. The type of the two variables should be same. If the value of C is 12, but the type of the variable C is a string, then it will show false. But if the type of C is an integer, and we are comparing it with 12 after using triple equals to signs, that then it will print true. So the thing is that when you use triple equals to, it also checks for the type of the variable. If you use just double equals to, then it doesn't check for the size. If 12 is equals to 12, whether it is string or integer, it will show it will the output will be true for both the cases. That is the
so
difference between the.
so for practical purposes, let me show it to you. I have declared two variables. C is equals to 12. It is the integer type, and C is equals to string 12. The single quote represents string. Actually, you can use double quotes or single quotes in JavaScript. There is no compulsion. Both are treated as same. The 12 in this is treated as string, and string 12 is stored in the variable D. So now if I write a code like if C triple equal to D, or let me first use double equal to. If C double equal to D, then what should I write?
Adit, do one thing. Adit, do one thing. It is all of this. Just write C is equals to D. That will show the output.
Okay. Yeah.
Just
C
write C is
double
equals
equal
to
to D. Okay, huh.
yeah.
So it is showing
This
true.
and when
It
you
is
write
showing
C triple equals to D, the output will be
it is
false,
showing false.
because one is string and the other is the integer type. So that's like variable is same, but the type of one variable is integer and the other type of the variable is a string. So that's why it shows false. So the difference between the two operators is this is the difference between the two operators.
Actually, triple equal to also compares the data type, but double equal to does not compares the data type. It only compares the values. So this was it. Wait a second. There's a disturbance. Hmm. So what should we do next? Uh, JavaScript is extensively used for DOM manipulation. Actually, it is in front end. The only reason why we use JavaScript is because of the DOM manipulation and implementing logic into our web pages. So for DOM manipulation, let me show you a picture. See, whenever we write a HTML document, JavaScript uh, JavaScript makes a document object model. The full form of DOM is document object model of the HTML document, and it stores it into its cache memory. So whenever we try to access an element, uh, we can do it by DOM manipulation. The technique is known as DOM manipulation. We can manipulate DOM. Actually, the main window is the window of the browser that we are seeing. The document part is the HTML document that is being written, that is being executed in the web page. And the children, see, document is the children of window, and link, form, and anchor tag are the children of document. And similarly, form has 6 children, that are text area, checkbox, radio, select, reset, and button. These are the 6 children of form. So these all are stored in the document object model. We can access DOM via JavaScript. So let me show you how to do that. So for writing JavaScript, there are two ways basically of writing JavaScript. We can directly write JavaScript into our HTML pages. You just need to write script at the bottom. See, the JavaScript should always be written in the bottom of the web page, as it should be executed after the HTML document is loaded. So it should be always written at the bottom. If I write document, but there are various selectors in JavaScript. If I want to select in previously I told you that console log is used to print something on the console. I will use console.log and here I will print document. So as soon as this web page is loaded, you may see the results. See, I will reload this page and inspect. When see on the console, the document is printed and the whole HTML document is printed. Inside there we have head, and inside body we have various elements. We can select a particular element of the document by HTML document dot. If we want to select a element by ID, we will write get element by ID. And actually there is no ID. I will add ID to this element, ID row 1. If I want to print this row 1, this will be printed. See, the row 1 is printed and the elements inside row 1 is also printed. So this is how we select and manipulate DOM using JavaScript. This was just to show you that how we can select various elements. We can also select elements via class. We can do that by get element by class name. So if I write row, see, there were two elements. There were two elements of the in the HTML document whose class was row. So it returned me an array of rows of the element whose class was row. So it is returning an array. So always remember, if we want to access anything by class name, then it returns an array. So for accessing the first element of the array, we can access it by giving square brackets, and the first element is always indexed as 0. So
Like you can relate it like this. Like when you talk about ID and when you talk about class, so what happens? Like ID is something which is unique, right? You give a unique ID for an element, right? So when you are giving something, you want to give a unique ID for an element. So it's only one now in a document, in a whole document, the ID is going to be unique, right? So and when it comes to class, so you can give the same class to multiple elements, right? You can give the same class to multiple elements. So you can relate it like this. When you write document dot get elements by class name, so when you are fetching all the elements by class name, so there can be multiple elements, so it returns you an array of all those elements, right? And when you talk about ID, document dot get element by ID, so it returns you a single object, single element that is having the same ID that you just passed in the argument. So you can relate this thing like that.
Yes, and Deepak,
So one so type of variable depends on the stuff assigned to it. Yeah, exactly, bro. Type of variable depends on the stuff assigned to it.
but we can change it later if we want to change.
You can change it. You can write a is equals to 10 and you can write a is equals to Samir. So both work fine.
So now we have understood how to select any attribute, any uh, what I say, any tag via JavaScript. So we will complete our blog page. As you can see, this text is overflowing this row. So we first want to fix that. We first have to fix that. For that, let's see where it is. Block details. So I will assign a particular height to the block details. Let it be height and 120 pixels. Okay, so see, the height is fixed as 120 pixels, but it is still overflowing. The text is still overflowing and now overlapping on the second row. So to fix that, we can use another property of CSS, that is overflow. Overflow, and we can keep it as hidden. The overflow will be hidden and now it's looks clean. But the read more button is not working. The read more should expand this article and we should see the whole article that we have written. So for that, the JavaScript comes into the picture. We can do this by JavaScript. What we can do is we can assign a variable var, and just wait a second. We can assign a variable var and name it as read more, and we can fetch the read more button via this this read more button. So for fetching this read more button, we will use document dot query selector. See, query selector is another type of selector in JavaScript where we can select any type of element. We can select class, we can select any tag, or we can select it by ID. We just have to use the if we want to select anything tag, then we can directly give as a. A is the anchor tag. If we want to select any class, we can select it by dot and the name of the class. But if we want to select it by ID, we can give hash and the name of the name of the ID. So I want to grab the element by class name. So the class name is read more. So I will write dot read more. So if I will print this read more variable, then can anyone guess what will be the result? Will it be a single tag or an array or something else? Can anyone guess? Wild guess will also work. So let's print it. See, read more and this read more and the variable read more are different. Here I am printing the variable read more. So if I print this, inspect and console. See, I am getting a single read more. That is because query selector always selects a single element. If I want to grab all the read mores, uh, then I will have to use query selector all. If I will use query selector all, see, as I told you earlier, the if I grab some element by class name, it will return an array. But if I use this within the query select with the query selector, then it would give me a single element, as query selector only selects the first instance of anything that is inside it. So if we want to grab all the read mores classes, then we have to use query selector all. If I then print this, see, I am getting an array of two read mores. One is this one and other is this one. These are indexed 0 and 1. So I can now play with both these elements and make my web page more interactive. What I can do is uh, now read more is an array, so we want to iterate over it. We want to add every property. We want to add properties to every element of the array. So for that, I will use a for loop. See, in this case, our web page is pretty small. We are having only two blogs. But what if our web page is a little bit larger and there are multiple blogs? Let's assume hundreds and hundreds of blogs. So for that, we will be needing for loop. I will write for var I is equals to 0, I less than. If we want to grab the read more length of the read more, I will write read more dot length and I plus plus. Okay. So now I will store this read more element. Let's print first. Let me print this and show you what we are getting. Console dot. You can grab any element by square brackets then I. We are getting two different elements printed in different lines. So now I will store this into another variable and name it element. Read more and the name of bracket and index. Now I can apply various styles and different things via these on this element. So first of all, I would add a event listener. Event listener listens for the event that occurs. Various events are on click, on key press, on key up. We can let me show you first. I will add a event listener or element dot add event listener and the name of the event. I will be using the click event and the function. So there are functions in C languages also. In this JavaScript, we can declare functions by writing function and uh, curly braces around it. So first, whenever we click the read mode, okay, wait. Whenever we click the read mode, I want something to appear on the console. This can be done as we have already added an event listener that will listen for the click event. We want our function to console log something we want. This can be done by console logging, console.log. I will just write hello. I refresh my page and click on read mode. See, my hello is printing. and this also hello is being printed. So first let me remove this link from here. As when I am whenever I am clicking this, this page is getting reloaded as this is an anchor, type of tag. The page is getting reloaded. So first let me remove that. I can make it div. Remove the href part. Refresh. Okay, wait. Let me see why this is happening. I don't know, guys, why this is happening, but page is getting refreshed on every click.
What's wrong, Aditya?
Here the page is getting refreshed without being an anchor
Okay.
tag.
I need to see the code once.
Okay, so wait, sorry. I just removed the anchor tag from the second row. Sorry. Hmm, okay. Now it will not be. See, now if I click on read more, the hello is getting printed. Now it is working fine. But the styles are removed as I have removed the anchor tag. So the styles are getting disturbed here. I guess now you are capable of styling the pages, so I will not restyle it. I am just focusing on the JavaScript part. So after adding an event listener, that listens for click event, the function is performing something. The function is console logging hello every time we click the read more element. But this is not we want. We want the this section to be expanded every time we click the read more, and we want the read more text to show to change to show less. We can do that. We can do that by so first let me write the code, then I will explain.
Aditya, try to wrap up fast. It's already 7:49.
Okay, sure. So what I'm doing is here is I'm grabbing the element, and the previous element sibling grabs the element that is previous to it. See here, can you see the photo image? See, what previous element sibling does is it if we apply this on radio, then it will grab checkbox. If we'll apply it on checkbox, then it will grab text area. It will grab the element on the similar level, same level. So it will grab the, and class list is the list of the classes it is having, and it will toggle it to show more. If it is having any other class, it will remove that class and add show more class to it. Am I audible? Yeah.
Yes, yes, Aditya, you're audible. Continue.
Okay, so it will add show more.
Now you are not audible, Aditya. Hello, Aditya. Aditya, you're not audible actually. I think he lost his internet connection. Okay, he lost his internet connection. I think I tried to text him, but he isn't receiving messages also. So, up to what we are done. I don't know up to what we are done. I didn't see that. So, what we can do is we can continue from here from in the next session. And what was that? Yeah. So this was the almost the last session for the front end. We will start with the back end in the next session. It's Sunday today, like so. Most probably we will have a class next Saturday, or maybe if there will be a vacant day or in between. So not sure about that. Need to check. But most probably we'll have a class on Saturday, and we'll start with the backend. So, do you guys have any doubt in this session? If you guys have any doubt in this session, so like you can ask me. Yes, you can ask. If you have any guys related to any point he told you up to like till now, whatever he told you. If no, so then we will wrap up this session here.
Bhaiya,
Yeah.
the last part was not clear. Like after, how can we apply the show less function?
Yeah, I need to show you the code of that thing. I don't have the exact code of that thing. So one thing that I can do, I can write the code for you. Otherwise, like I think it will be good if you continue with the same code that he was doing, right? So uh, mm, what we will do, we will provide you the code, and if we will have a doubt session, then you can ask that thing there. Like I can't code it for you right now, so because I don't have the same code that what he was doing, I will code in my own way. I need to like it will take time. So what
Yeah,
we can do
okay.
is like we will give you the whole code, like minor like hardly 5 or 10 minutes were left. So we will give you the code and just go through that thing once, and if you will have a doubt session, then we will continue. Like, do you guys want a doubt session? Like, you guys tried something on Git, like we had a last session on Git, so you tried something. Uh,
We can do one thing. We can have a doubt session in which we can clear your doubts, and at the same time we can teach you some basic concepts of JavaScript.
Yeah, actually, I personally want to take a class. I personally want to teach you backend. I want that for the backend thing, me and Ujjwal take classes for the backend. So before that backend class, I think if you want, we can have a doubt session. So up to this HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and some basic concepts of JavaScript, like we can tell you. What do you think?
Yes, Bhaiya, doubt session would be helpful, I guess.
Yeah, doubt session. So need to look for a day, like need to look for a backend day where we can like set, we can look for in between before Saturday. Yeah, for the doubt session. Ujjwal, is there any holiday?
I don't think so. Like we'll be having our normal classes from Monday to Friday, I guess. For you people, I don't know.
So what do you think? Can we have a session after class after 5? Are you comfortable with that? attend the doubt session after having like lots of
No,
classes.
no. See, we can take class even within our class hours also. We have no
Yeah,
issue.
we have no issue. We can take a class at any time. Just you guys should be comfortable.
Uh, from morning after 11 in the morning, you can ask us anytime because
Yeah,
before that we don't even wake up.
exactly. Even if we
So
try to.
you guys just guys decide a time. Else we'll keep it on Friday, either on Friday or on Saturday morning. In between, if you want any if you have any doubts, you can just post the same in your WhatsApp groups, or you can personally ask your doubts to any of the moderators or any of the instructors.
Okay, you don't need to hurry. Just decide accordingly. Like today it's Sunday, so decide. Take your time up to Monday. Then after Monday, just let's decide a time according like that. Let's all will be comfortable with decide time, and we will have a doubt session with. And we will start with the back end in the next session that will be on next Saturday, most probably next Saturday, and then the deployment thing and the back end. So for the back end, like we need some JavaScript knowledge. So we will introduce you to JavaScript, and I think that me and Ujjwal will take those sessions. So uh, okay, I think we are done. I think yeah.
You can go through JavaScript first before we dive into
Yeah, and one more thing you can
backend.
do. One more thing you can do. You have done you have learned about the Flex now. So now what you can do, you can make a project page of your portfolio. You can make the project page for your portfolio. Like in those upcoming 6 days, you can come up with that project page. So you already have a blog page. Will have a project page. The home page was already there. So the only thing will be the like integrating it with the backend and the deployment part. Right.
We'll provide you the design for the project page. You just need to code the design. It will
Yeah.
you will also get a hands-on experience, as well as it will be you will have another feature in your portfolio website.
If someone is really not good in designing, then like personally, I am not really good at designing, so I prefer a designer with me. So we will still provide your design so that you can just implement the things. Cool. Let's wrap up the
Actually,
session,
sorry
guys.
guys, network connection got lost.
Don't worry. Like we will continue the next
Yes,
session.
yes, it is
Aditya.
not at all interesting. I understand, but it's the base of web development. Like you
Yeah.
cannot do web development without CSS at least.
Yeah, like personally, I like more I like working on backend more, but yeah, front end is something that you cannot escape. Like in the initial days, even everyone needs to work on front end. Everyone needs to work on front end. That's something that you cannot skip, right? Okay, so let's wrap up the session here, guys. If you have any doubt, like you can always contact us. Or if you have any doubt right now, you can ask right now. Otherwise, I think we are done. I think half of the people have already muted the tab. I think that's why they can't hear that the session is ended, right? Ujjwal?
Yes, Amir.
I think half of the guys have already muted the tab. That's why they can't hear that the session is already finished.
This may happen, you know.
Like only like online lectures. Like we do that. It's the only thing that we do.
But see, this isn't your normal classes, okay? We are not gaining anything by taking these classes. We have zero
Yeah.
interest in this.
Right. We are not getting any salary for this. It's just to share our knowledge with you guys, right? So just you get to explore some different fields just for this. Cool. No worries. So if nobody is
Session
giving,
starts with 35 people and ends with 15 people. Yeah, this usually happens everywhere, you know. This
yeah,
basically everyone, since you all are at your home, so maybe there are other issues that you have to face while you are doing your classes also. Okay, so this is not a big issue like 35 going to 15 people. That's
in
like
the
a normal thing.
last session of Git we have around 90 people, right? More than 90, I think. Okay, let's wrap up, guys. Like, I am leaving this meeting. If you guys are not leaving this meeting, I'm leaving because I don't know like who is muted and who is like really here.
No,
So
we are listening, Bhaiya.
yeah, okay, no worries.
Okay.
Yeah. So those who are really here can
Okay.
leave if you have no doubt. You guys can leave if you have no doubt. Otherwise,
Okay,
those
guys. See you in the next session. We'll be starting with backend. Most probably, I and Samir will be taking the backend classes, accompanied by some of the instructors from second year.
Yes, Bhaiya, sure,
Till
Bhaiya.
then, okay. Bye bye. Good night.
Thank you, Bhaiya.
Thank you, Bhaiya.
yeah, sure.